I need you to real quick. Right here. Any curious names?
Tyler, 26 plus.
I didn't get your last time.
You complete.
Okay, thank you.
Time.
Alright.
Okay, can I go?
Oh, thank God.
I call this meeting of the South Dakota School Line Student Association Synod to order.
Yes.
Roll call and approval of proxies.
Proxy Alarape. Kent.
Here.
Captain. Fernandez.
Here.
Fink.
Here.
Keel.
Here.
Leonard.
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Lindgren.
Here.
Smith. Richards.
Here.
Schock.
Here.
Siekman.
Here.
Stanek.
Here.
Severson. Proxy Quirin.
Here.
Winter.
Here.
Web form.
Alright. All those in favor of approving roll call and proxy say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Approved. Alright, did everyone get a chance to look at the agenda? I know, I'm sorry, it was kind of last minute sent out. I was waiting for a response for someone that never came. But did everyone get a chance to look at that? Alright. All in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Passes. Then did everyone get a chance to look at last week's minutes as well? Yes. Any edits to that or anything? No. All right. All those in favor of approving last week's minutes say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right. Now we're moving on to open floor guests, climate club.
My name is Jordan Howard. I'm the president of the Climbing Club here on campus.
And I'm Kyler Edwards. I'm the treasurer.
That's us. That's us last year after the climbing competition that was hosted by the local climbing gym. Super fun. It was the first time we had a real presence there. We won the university division, and they gave us 10 cases of ramen as a prize, which is pretty sweet. But we do all sorts of stuff going on. So historically, we've mostly just been trying to rebuild the club. In 2020, the pandemic just kind of killed it. They limited, I think, the bouldering wall capacity to 4 people, something like that, which meant that hanging out, and especially in the wintertime, was just not an option. So the club really died off, and then my freshman year, this really tall guy right here restarted everything, and we got it going again. Spent a lot of time and a lot of our efforts the last few years just repairing the wall and putting in new resources. Any of you guys that are regulars at the King Center might recognize the pull-up bar and the miscellaneous training weights that are in there. And that's not just for the club, but that's also meant to be a public resource for the campus as a whole, along with the wall, right? The wall isn't ours, it's something that we take care of. So that's most of what we've done. In the past, we've occasionally brought people outside on climbing trips, but they've been pretty limited in scope, maybe like a trip or two a semester. Last spring, we got out to Devil's Tower, which was awesome. That was with the help of Pat Fleming and Dr. Willis Hill, the political science professor. So that was a good time. And moving forward, we have a lot of plans. We are trying to build the community even more opportunities. We have a women's climbing meetup every Thursday, bi-weekly on Thursdays now, and we have other activities in the community. Maybe we might get involved with the Climbing Coalition for the Black Hills so we can help build trails and facilitate maintaining the routes in the natural environment in the outdoor setting. And a lot of other things we've just been doing as far as accessibility to new club members and people in the area, as far as like group chats and making sure that everyone's in tune to the different opportunities and training people on how to be safe when we're climbing outside. So you can see our club there hanging out and trying out some new routes. Go to the next slide. And as far as our broader scope, we're looking at moving on to bigger and cooler opportunities for the club, something a little more impactful and memorable. As not just a club, but also as a sort of like group of friends. When you look back when you're at your college years, you're like, man, I'm glad I joined that club and got to meet these people. So this coming couple weeks, I think the 28th, we're trying to go to Tensley Canyon. That's this place right here. It's a world-class climbing area in eastern Wyoming, and it's the first time since the old club that we've gone overnight, like camping and climbing somewhere. Previously, they would go to Red Rocks outside of Las Vegas over spring break. I don't know how much of that was climbing and how much of that was Las Vegas. The details have been lost, but we're starting to get our feet wet, and I think that would be a great chance to really get involved and learn more about the whole club process of, you know, what's available to us and what we can do. There's a picture of us at Devil's Tower last April. We're hoping to make it there again at least one more time this year, maybe a couple more times. For sure. Yeah, it was an awesome time. It was very cool. But that's mostly what we do, and that's what we're looking to do moving forward. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, we have had, compared to last year, as I'm only a sophomore and I was only here last year for it, we have put a lot more emphasis on inviting newcomers, inviting new freshmen, and building a stronger community. Last year, we were a little passive on it, and we lost, or we didn't really gain a whole lot of new members. I don't know. There's very few sophomores besides the climbing club. But so far, the meetings have been pretty packed still, and we've had lots of freshmen that have been retained in the club.
Yeah, we've been making like trips. I mean, we've already made 3 club trips.
Yes.
We just been, it's at the point where we can just go out whenever and invite people, which has made it really cool for having those opportunities. It took some initiative on the part of the people in the club to kind of make that happen so that people can try new things. But yeah. Any questions?
I know you guys had issues with the wellness center at times past. I think it was with regard to like purchasing stuff. Can you elaborate on that and maybe the status of the relationship with the wellness center?
Yeah, so we replaced all of the T-nuts that are used to put the holes on the wall, and we used the club budget for that. But the wellness center we were able to work with, if you remember Becky, we worked with her on getting the pads like stitched back together because they were basically disintegrating the covers. So she was decent to work with on that regard. Moving forward, the gym in town, Black Hills Base Camp, they actually replaced a lot of their foam. So we're trying to get the covers financed and then to buy those foam pads for a good price, and we would basically be able to double the amount of coverage that we have up at the Mines Wall for a lot less than it should cost. So I've been working with Rob Sales on that. Hopefully we can get some numbers on that and see where that's at. We might need, some influence or support from you guys, or they'll have it covered. I don't know, but I think that would be a really good thing to have, because we've had a couple incidents with the pad coverage being a little sparse. And it would be nice to have some good, solid pads, because they're way bigger. They're about twice as thick. It'd be a big step up, and a lot of people aren't comfortable climbing up there because of the pad situation. So it'd be great to have that.
Just about any and all of the injuries that have come are people who land between the 2 pads and they roll their ankle and so yeah.
Do you know how many students are in the club right now?
Active members, I would say we probably have people that show up pretty regularly. We probably have 20, 20, 30, I would say.
Yeah.
I see them show up and I'm not surprised that they're there,
First name basis,
Involved.
first name basis, yeah. People that have
Of those 20, how many are like freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors? What would you say that breakup is? Like younger, older? Where are you on that?
So the freshman group is pretty big this year, like Kyler was saying. There are, I want to say about four seniors, and then a couple juniors, and a few sophomores, and then a bunch of freshmen.
Yeah,
So,
that's 10.
Oh no, so I guess we probably have like 5 or 6 juniors. Yeah, it just showed up this year. Been climbing for a while.
Yeah.
So we have a lot more spread towards the younger generation, which is good because I'm not going to be here forever. So hopefully someone else can take the torch. Any other questions?
Thank you all for coming. Thank you for presenting. Alright, moving on. So we do have some unfinished business from last week. Resolution Seekman 24F004, the Homebrew Computer Club supplemental. Yeah, Nick, you want to go ahead?
I already read this last week, so if you have any questions? No, I see none, so.
Yes, sir. Senator Fernandez, coach to vote. Seconded by Senator Fink. All those, or roll call vote.
Roxy Alarabe.
Here.
Kent.
Aye.
Captain. Fernandez.
Aye.
Fink.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Lanner.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Lindgren.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Richards.
Aye.
Shaw.
Aye.
Seekman.
Aye.
Stanek.
Aye.
Severson. Barksy Query.
Aye.
Winter.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Alright. We have no new business for this week. Moving on to open discussion. Any points of open discussion? Yes, Senator Lewis.
There is no link in the ad hoc email you sent out.
There is no link. Thank you for telling that. That happens with me. I'll send a link out for that. What? Oh yeah. Senator Seekman.
Senator Smith and I also just discovered the complaint link in your bio is inactive as well.
Interesting.
So, FYI.
Yeah. We'll get that resolved. Alright, the link I just sent out another link that should work now. Alright. Any other points of open discussion? Seeing none, we'll move on to CFO report.
Hello, y'all. It's been a day. So thank you for passing the supplemental. We're going to be meeting with ACS, with the Finance Committee tomorrow to discuss what their budget was on their supplemental request. Vice President, we will be giving more in depth on GAF and camp teams. So that's all I really have to report, so your report.
Any comments, questions, concerns for CFO Lockwood? Seeing none, we'll move on to Vice President report.
Good afternoon. Hope you're all enjoying the homecoming activities and whatnot. Hopefully we wrap up here soon so we can go dunk some professors. I do want to report on the meeting that President Archer and Senator Schock and I had with Amy, the director of camp, and we just talked briefly about the logistics and the motivation behind moving funding for camp teams from under SOAP to under GAF directly. The two motivations we discussed were one, more oversight of camp team spending, and two, how the SOAP budget relates to a potential GAF increase that we might promote in the future. So with regards to oversight, we don't actively oversee SOAP funded organization spending, but Amy does work very closely with the camp teams, and so she'd have a better understanding of how they're spending money, where they would need money, where they shouldn't be given money. So she's hoping for a better management of funds there, and then being under camp would allow her to have a camp reserve, so any money that's not used be saved up for later, rainy days or whatever. And then in terms of a GAF increase, by moving our camp teams out of the SOAP umbrella, we significantly shrink that budget, which makes that budget more comparable to that of other BOR universities and their student org budgets, and that could help us in our case for increasing GAF in the future. So those are the two motivations. Steps forward, I will continue talking to camp team leaders about how they feel about working with Amy and how they would prefer more oversight. I know a few of us here are on camp teams, so if you want to reach out to your leaders or talk amongst yourselves, that'd be helpful too. And then obviously reach out to the entire student body too, because not everyone will agree with making this change. Many people will probably be have some kind of opposition. So eventually I'll probably send out some kind of information type email, and then maybe a vote at some point, depending on how the logistics work out. But there is a timeline on this. Ideally, we have a good decision by the end of this month or middle of next month, so that we're not conflicting with all the SOAP presentation and SOAP preparations. Otherwise, camp teams will be like, hey, we did our SOAP thing and now it's irrelevant. So hopefully we get a decision early on that and prevent bad feelings. That is it for camp. As a reminder, we have 3 openings still on Senate, or we'll have 3 openings: a senior position, a junior position, and a freshman position. So if you know anyone that qualifies for those positions, either by credit or by the time that they spend at Mines, please let me know, or talk to them directly, however you want to do it. But yeah, keep that in mind. Head of report.
Alright, any comments?
So one quick thing, as this comes out, just about budgeting thing, if people ask control or whatever. I mean, technically, no student organization and no student in the student organization really has control over their budget. Right? At the end of the day, like, you can talk about what you want to buy, but the advisor doesn't sign off on it. It doesn't get purchased. So even with a switch, it's still following university policy of how much is spent. Obviously, she'll be able to advise a little bit, but it will still match up with what we do with SOAP as well.
Any other questions for Vice President Lee? Senator Fernandez.
So for allocating funds, are we giving XYZ amount to camp in general, and they would split it down further?
Basically, so it would be its own segment of GAF, parallel to athletics, parallel to student engagement. Yes, so correct.
Any other questions for Vice President Lee? Comments, concerns? Seeing none, or Senator C? Okay. Alright, seeing none, let's move on to my report. So, first of all, I want to just go over for the October Board of Regents meeting. Senator Siegman and I decided that just us two are going to drive to Brookings on our personal vehicle at our expense, and then we're going to spend one night there in a hotel room and drive back. We had a conversation with BH and came out of that conversation kind of understanding that it might be important to show our faces there just to provide some semblance of we came to the conclusion that it would be important to show our faces there at this meeting in particular. So we're going to drive there at our personal expense and then spend just like one night out of our budget there in a hotel room and drive back. The next Board of Regents meeting after this one will be in Spearfish, so that will be completely different. We won't have to spend money on hotel rooms or anything, really anything. So yeah, that's the decision we came to. So we will be doing that not this next week, but the week after. So October 1st, or I guess, yeah, we're October 2nd. Sorry, yeah, that October 2nd meeting we will be. Senator Siegman and I will be gone. So then from that. There's something I did want to talk about just with general participation in certain events in Senate. We ended up having to cancel one of our fundraising events this past weekend because not enough people have signed up. It was a little disappointing, I'm going to be honest. We would prefer to see more participation just from all the senators so we can have enough money to function as an organization. So we would love to see more participation from everyone here in this room and prefer not to have to drag people kicking and screaming to these events. And we're discussing internally on the executive board ways to kind of encourage that from all our senators. So expect updates on that and policies on that in the future. Internal policies, I guess I should say. Then moving on, like Senator Lewis said earlier, there's a form right now out for ad hoc committee, so please fill that out. It goes over the 6 I mentioned last week, as well as your choices for what committees you want to be on, and if you want to be on multiple committees. So please fill that out. Other than that, that's the end of my report. Any questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, we'll move on. Let's go on to international report.
No report.
No report. Veterans report.
Chili cook-off is November 5th, and the Veterans Day Salute is November 8th.
Alright.
End of report.
Any questions, comments, concerns?
When is the chili cook-off?
November 5th.
Perfect, thank you.
Alright. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, moving on to non-traditional report.
Yeah, so I followed up with marketing about the non-traditional students page, and they have on the undergraduate admissions requirements, they added a whole section for non-traditional students.
Alright.
End of report.
Alright, any questions, comments, concerns for Cinder Camps? Seeing none, I'm sorry, this is a little out of order again, but graduate report.
Nothing new.
Alright. Moving on to committee reports, starting with Constitution reports.
We have a meeting 10:30 to 11:30 on Thursday. End of report.
Alright. Questions, comments, concerns? Alright. Moving on, public relations.
Thank you folks who showed up to help with our Rocker Days activities thus far. And as a reminder, I still would love to have some more folks join us to walk in the parade, so please come. As for that, what I'm thinking tentatively right now is going to be the best option, barring we still gotta finalize it. I'm going to say we're going to meet here to walk in the parade at 9. We'll throw the decorations on the truck, and depending on how many people we'll have who will walk with us, hopefully a lot, we will then carpool down to where we have to line up so that we're not fighting against everybody else going down there. So if you can come help with that. Great. And next week, please be in your business formal wear for headshots. Every senator needs a headshot for website and publication purposes. If you want to reuse one from last year, so be it, but we're also taking our group photos, so still probably look nice, but get a headshot or else, and please show up in a timely manner. They start at 4:45 so that we can start the meeting as close to 5 as possible. End of report.
You said meet where at what time for the parade?
We'll meet in the Surbeck lot at 9 a.m. on Saturday, because lineup begins at 9:15. So that'll give us enough time to throw stuff on the truck and decorate, and you're ready to go. Oh, in addition, I almost forgot. I'm gonna go buy the popsicles tomorrow, so if you have freezer space that you can spare, let me know, and I can give it. I can fit most of them in my freezer, but I won't have room for them all. So if you can steal some in the freezer till Saturday, and if you have a cooler, so we can keep things mostly cold on Saturday, that's great too. I have like a wheeled cooler. Lovely, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, send me a PM.
Cool. Alright, any questions, comments, concerns for Senator Siegman? Seeing none, moving on to government relations report.
So the freshman senator elections are today. They're going until 9 p.m. We only had 4 freshmen apply, so take that as you will. Pancheros fundraiser is today, so if you could, please go eat dinner at Pancheros. So on Friday, we went to the monument, and they basically told us it was cheaper to send us home with the minimum $350 donation than to have them open another stand for us to work at. So we made $350 from the monument fundraiser, and we're working on finding further fundraisers down the line. Of course, that doesn't happen if no one is willing to actually show up to those. Just for like comparison wise, any other fundraiser we do, whether it's with Pancheros, with Applebee's, with Texas Roadhouse, a reasonable estimation is $200 to $250 from one night. One monument event can bring in above $1,000. So that's 5 hours of work for what could possibly be over $1,000. So those are our most important fundraising events. So if you're going to do anything, please do those. You're all senators, you're all representing your class, and yeah, so. And we will have probably some sort of initiative to encourage attendance going forward. I believe that's it.
questions, comments, concerns for Senator Leonard? Seeing none, moving on to student affairs report.
So, last Thursday I went on a little journey through a few of the buildings. Noticed that the QR code that we made last April, I didn't see it. So we got the poster reapproved, printed off 48 copies today, gave it to the folks in Upper Surbeck, and they will distribute those accordingly. I messaged Dean Joe, and he will forward the message about the pantry to Campus Ministries, and they will use their donations to restock the pantry. Tomorrow, meeting at 3 p.m. We had some suggestions for the survey, so we will make set revisions to the survey and try to get that pushed out. And we will work on messaging clubs to attend next week's meeting. And that's all I have.
Yes, Senator, or Vice President Lee.
I was just gonna say, good work on the presentation so far. I like it.
Thanks.
I think you'll continue to build a closer relationship with other organizations. So, yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, concerns for Senator Winter? Seeing none, moving on to upcoming Senate business. Sorry, Senator Seacon.
I forgot about Unpaint the Town on Sunday from 2 to 4.
Okay.
So please come help with that as well.
Cool.
We'll meet in Main Street Square at 2.
Right. Yeah. Cool. So I'm painting town next Sunday. Any other upcoming Senate business? The only one I have is just fill out that ad hoc committee form. That's really important. And then obviously the pantry event tonight. Yeah. Other than that, that's about all we have. Seeing nothing. Any announcements? Senator Winter.
Congratulations, guys. 98 days till Christmas. We have now gone below 100 days. Let's go.
Alright. Any other announcements? Yes. Vice President.
Go dunk a professor. I think we have 3 minutes on the clock for doubters.
Let's go!
Oh, I do have actually one thing. Next Tuesday is career fair. Make sure to go.
Yeah. No, we're not done yet.
Alright. Alright. Senator Neiman, motion to adjourn, seconded by Senator Lindgren. All those in favor of adjournment say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign.